Today we're installing these new speakers in our Skyline GTR. Now, the Skyline and GTR as a whole, they do come with Kenwood speakers from the factory, and although they sound pretty good 25 years ago, they're a little bit tinny, and I'm sure the one in my doors are actually blown out. So we'll install these and see how they sound. So if you're looking to replace your speakers, this is the video for you. So let's begin. Okay, so let's open this door and see what we have here. And as you can see, typical Skyline door here. Now, a few tools you need to get this job done here. Phillips screwdriver, which I have right here, and a pry tool. Now, you can use a screwdriver instead of a pry tool, but this here ensures that you don't damage any of the plastics on the door card here. Now, this door card here is held on by 4 screws, but there should be a screw here, 1 here, and then we have 2 underneath. All right, I have my light here, and we're just gonna get these 2 screws underneath first. I'm gonna put these screws in here for the bottom, put this one with the plate. I'm gonna try to pry this off near the window. All right, let's remove this harness. That's the entire switch. All right, we'll unscrew that one as well. This one is gonna fall, bro. All right, here it, oops. Whew, that's crazy. And then this one here is very, very delicate. You really don't want to break this door handle piece. And I would suggest you go from this side first because there is a clip that slides into this frame right here. So I'm gonna try to pry over here first. This is the one I want to get first. There we go. Whew. All right, there's a clip back here that goes into this groove right here. So don't want to break that. And here's your last bolt. I don't even think this needs to be removed, to be honest with you, if I remember correctly. So, but I have it here. All right, this door card should be free. See, this should be clips down here. I don't feel it holding, but you just want to pull a little bit on it, get the clips out. And then now that all these clips are out, we just lift this straight up and it should come off. There it is. There's one here as well by the actual window mirror. And there it is. Technically, the screw for this handle doesn't need to be removed. And here's your door card. Now, the previous owner, as you can see, did a lot of work with insulation. You can see all these foam panels right here, which doesn't come from the factory, as well as here, right here as well. Some acoustic panels here and here. But you can see the rim for the speaker has been damaged, so cool. I'm gonna put the screw back in here because that one does not need to be removed. Now, I know you can't see it too well, but it's just held on by 4 screws. Now, Nissan did a really good job with this car as far as isolation and trying to get the sound out, but these speakers are shot for sure. And here's your speaker. Oh man, all that stuff just fell out. And then there's a plug, a single plug, and that's a Nissan proprietary plug. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And here's your speaker case right here. Take a look at this. Look at that. That is shot, guys. But as you can see, it's some kind of a carbon composite material, which is good for bass response, but all this baffle in here is gone. And that's what I was hearing once I played the speaker. It was just rattling. Let's go upstairs and replace this with a new speaker. Okay, so here we are. We have our speaker here and its actual mounting point right here. Let's just get this speaker out of here. It's just 4 screws, and then we'll take a closer look at it. And I think my biggest issue here is the mounting of my new speakers, which we'll talk about here very shortly. All right, so let's try to get this out of here. That should be the only thing holding this in place. You can just pry this up. There it goes. Yeah, they did a really good job. They actually have foam here so that this wouldn't vibrate. Now I get to see the speaker on this, and it's a Kenwood. So I would assume this is OEM. Now, the issue we have here with this car here is that the harness in the car is very, very short. I said that before when I removed the speaker. You do have this proprietary plug here. This is a Nissan plug, old school plug. And I can't just cut this and put it into my new speaker, which we'll talk about right now. So let's just bring out the new speaker since we have this one out. All right, and here it is, the Infinity Kappa Series right here. This is the 63XF. Now these are 6.5-inch speakers. Technically, they're actually a little bit bigger than 6.5-inch speakers. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but that's just the design of the outer woofer right here. But this should drop in, hopefully. Now, this is obviously a premium product. Infinity is one of the premium brands on there. Now, these guys are also the same company like Harman. Now, I did choose this speaker specifically for its specifications. It does have a higher sensitivity rate. It has a lower frequency response, and you also have the tweeter here as well. Now, this one here is pretty much for some kind of an OEM type of radio, so you really don't want to run this with an amp, although it could handle it. Now, if I was going to run an amplifier, then I would probably go with a more premium setup, like a component where you have a woofer and a separate mid or tweeter. But for this car, I wanted to be as simple as possible. Anyways, let's just open this up and see how it looks. Now, you have some Infinity kind of like branding right here, and I'm sure you can put this on the grill of your door. Looks like some mountain hardware on here. I would assume these are the grills. Oh, cool. These are actually the adapters if you want to adapt it. And here we are. Here are the speakers. Pull one out. Actually, let's pull both of them out, see what else is in here. Oh, you do have some tape here, some foam tape. So we'll probably use this to dampen the installation. Now, I've used Infinity products in the past, hence the reason why I went for this brand. They're not I say the best, but I've had really good results in the past. So here it is. Let's just take this one out. All right, and here's the speaker. Really nice, and you can see how big the magnet is here. And then you have a composite, this one here is like a carbon fiber, almost similar to the one here on the factory speaker right here. Now, as I said before, although this is a 6.5-inch speaker, it is a little bit larger due to the design. Usually you have the actual rubber and that starts the 6.5-inch diameter. But in this case, as you can see right here, it actually protrudes outward a little bit further out. So it's a little bit bigger than the 6.5-inch. So you might get more bass response with this one. Now, I did look at the specifications of this very closely because you want the biggest magnet possible. You want to have the most bass response and mids and highs, obviously. But you don't want to go too big because if this magnet is too large, it's not going to fit in the door. So as you can see, the heights are very similar. And I did look at the maximum depth of my door here. Now, I don't want to cut the connection point, the proprietary connection in the car because this is a special car, very expensive car. And I do want to have all my mods reversible. So because of that, I did have to buy an adapter. So if you do have a Nissan Skyline, now I have a 1998. It's a GTR. It's also a 4-door, but I do think the coupes are the same connection. You can get this adapter here by Metra. Now this one here converts it from that plug to these blades. The actual part number here is 72-7400. So 72-7400. There it is right there. You can see the actual part number. And you can get this online. I got this one here actually from Best Buy. This was the only one available, thank goodness. And I'll probably leave the link for this in the link down below. Now, I'm curious to see if this is gonna fit. This is the time right here. If I have to make any modifications to this enclosure. Holy crap, it fits. It fits pretty well. I could have gone for a little bit deeper magnet if I wanted to. Man, this is like a drop-in. I would highly recommend this if you guys have a Skyline or at least an Autech. All right. Yeah, there's already some here. We're just gonna put some on the top here. So there's no vibration going on. And this is just to have the best sound quality as possible, reducing vibration. Now you guys saw we had a gasket on here that we took off when we removed the old speaker. Here it is. And man, if Nissan did this, that's impressive. I don't know. But I did buy me some new ones right here. And you can get this from different brands, different manufacturers. I got it from Amazon, obviously. Wow. 6.5-inch fast foam. That's what it's called, fast foam. You can get the one that's right for your size. Let's just get one disc out. There's like 4 in here. See that right there? And you have actual cutouts for each one. And the one we're looking for is the largest one right here. I'm gonna put that around here so that it actually puts the sound through the door. And these other ones are used for the same purpose. You can put this actually, and I probably will use this one here in the actual door to prevent vibration and resonance as well. All right, we got the grommets, we have the foam. I'll install this first. There it goes. All right. All right, time to actually install this gasket, and we should be good to go. All right, and I don't want this thing to touch the actual lip, especially since we have a bigger kind of speaker here. So that's the reason why I also cut it. If it was too small, it would actually touch the lip. So I want to make it a little bit wider. That should create a pretty good seal. All right, here we go. Dude, this thing is sticky as hell. So I can sacrifice one, cut it in half. Oh yeah, this is gonna be perfect. Check it out. I'm content with this, guys. Let's go back downstairs, throw this in the car, and then we'll see how it sounds. All right, guys, so here's our speaker. It's now back in our kind of mount here, so our adapter plate. We're just gonna put it back in. Pretty nice. I have the foam here on top, and I also put some other insulation in the door as well. So let's get this puppy back in here. I also made an adapter, as you saw. Just gonna plug this in, and this should be pretty straightforward. And we're gonna cycle the window in a few minutes here, make sure nothing gets tangled in there. Let's try the speaker first since we're here. Since I have a mic on, you'll hear it. Sure it sounds.
I don't wanna know, it's so mysterious. Even got a elusive side para for a contradaria. Complete and perfect, all you say that under last year, Miss Genius, I know a mess. What do you eat today? What book do you love? Whenever you go out for fun, tell me where do you go? Haven't eaten anything, it's a secret unknown. Any questions you're facing, always acting so vaguely. So unconcerned, although you brightly glow and seemingly unveiled secrets are.
Sounds pretty good. I'll take noise canceling off. I want you guys to hear this again.
Secrets I don't wanna know, it's so mysterious. Even got a elusive side para for a contradaria. Complete and perfect, all you say that under last year, Miss Genius, I know a mess. What do you eat today? What book do you love? Whenever you go out for fun, tell me where do you go? Haven't eaten anything, it's a secret unknown. Any questions you're facing, always acting so big.
All right, not bad. That was kind of loud. I wonder how that sounds, but better. No distortion. Maybe I should have played a non-copyright song, but hey, whatever. It is what it is. All right, that worked out pretty good. I still have to check the window. So let's do that. Keys are in, and let's make sure there's no obstacles in the way. I didn't want to put it all the way in, but I don't have a choice. Ooh. All right, cool, everything is good. The speaker works, the window works, everything seems to be fine here. We're just gonna put the door card back on here and go from there. I'm gonna put some more sound deadening material behind this door here so we have some better noise reduction, but the reverse should be just as easy. All right. That's it. It all goes into place, actually. Oh, that's perfect. There it is. All right, door card's back on there. Everything works. The mirror still works. Our speaker is even better. And it's all back together like OEM, guys. Now, if you got any help from this, please hit that like button. It does help the channel and push this video to other people like yourself that needs to see this information to repair their cars, guys. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.